Mi nombre es Torito, más bien conocido como el que te da por detrás. Yeah, cabecito. Oh, sí, otra. Bueno, ya. Comencemos. O continúa. Bueno, me había quedado acá.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh,
Bitches.
this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Ok. Vamos. Quiero putas.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Estoy dando vueltas. Lel. Qué bonito la luz. ¿No ve?
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
No voy a mirar la línea. Okay. Continuemos, por favor. Línea mal lineada. Jaja.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute.
What?
Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Sí. Lol.
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's
Quiero
what this
ver
is?
Walking Dead.
It's all
Quiero ver
one
Walking
giant
Dead.
ending.
Quiero ver Walking Dead.
And we're supposed to restart the game eight times?
What?
That's really how all this goes? It's all determined?
Oh.
So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped. Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us?
Quiero ver Walking Dead. Quiero ver Walking Dead. Quiero ver Walking Dead.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story. Wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Yeah. Well, in the meantime...
Lol. Coño, me ha hecho asustar. Ok, sigamos. Droga, marihuana. Lo tragué. está azul, güey. El cielo está azul.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
Cabrón.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Bueno. Ok.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Hacia izquierda. Creo que nos hemos olvidado algo. Vamos a ver.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
Yeah.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Pues no. Voy a ir allí. Voy al otro lado. Bueno.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
No. 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 Nope.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Ok. Hacia la aventura. Viajo. Oh.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Okay.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Tica aquí, no, tica aquí. No, por acá.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Wow.
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Por nosotros. Chingas. Cabras.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers, the lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Okay. No entiendo nada.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true.
Parece
Had
Matrix.
Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Soy Matrix, estoy en la Matrix. Aquí hay la Matrix. Quiero ver, chicas.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible?
No, quiero
Had
volver.
he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Por acá, lol.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
LOL. Hay que reiniciar. No reinicies, por favor. No reinicies, por favor. LOL.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
Lo acabé. Lo acabé. Lo acabé.
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine.
Quiero mi barco y papá.
Unshackled
Quiero.
himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold?
Yeah.
But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand,
Qué
but to let
hermoso,
go.
qué hermoso.
No longer would
pajarito,
anyone
mira,
tell him
un
where to go,
pajarito,
what to
mira.
do,
Ay,
or how to
te voy a
feel.
llamar Manolo.
Whatever
Manolo.
life he
Manolo.
lives,
Vos.
it will be
Antonio.
his. And
Antonio.
that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to
Manolo,
happen.
Antonio.
And Stanley was happy.
Oh, terminé el juego. No mames. Qué rápido. ¿No? Pero aquí dice el fin es... Bueno. Hasta aquí nomás. Sí. Gracias por ver la serie. Muchas gracias. Quiero dedicarle esto a alguien especial. Antonio, tu mamá te está buscando. ¿Lol? What? LOL. LOL, 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 LOL. ¿Qué?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
LOL.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
LOL. 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 Pero es a la derecha, LOL. LOL, esto no había. ¿O sí? LOL. LOL. LOL, LOL, LOL.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door and this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
¡Ahí está la aventura! Ya estaba ilusionado. Con mi esposa plástica, a mis hijos, entre comillas, a mi perro, a Manolo y Antonio. Antonio.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Esto lo vamos a hacer rápido para que no sea tan largo el vídeo.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Walking Dead en HD.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Sin vida, un loco, un robot, un alien.
No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. for he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Que averiguar un poco. ¿Qué es esto? 4. No es nada. LOL. Me troleó el 4. Me troleó. Ay, gente. Waiting. No. Oh, no. Mira. Input. Waiting input. Punto deslizable. Ok. Aquí vamos a hacer lo contrario. Vamos a elegir. Oh.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for. Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you?
No.
After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control?
Yeah.
Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes.
No me
Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are?
Sí.
A moment of solace before you're obliterated.
Por favor.
All right, I'm in a good mood. You're going to die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them.
Dime.
I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons. No, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button. Or this door. Everything, anything. Something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Sold? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is?
Sí, es un juego.
Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death.
Spoiler,
You're only still
spoiler.
playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't.
Destruirlo.
Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here. Just you being blown to pieces.
No lo voy a apretar.
Will you
Nope.
cling desperately to your frail life? Or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make
Hasta
it
luego.
count. Or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of the
Lo
joke.
aprieto.
And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say happily ever
Adiós.
after.
No mames, en serio. No pensaba que era broma, lol. Pensaba que era broma, soy un pringado. No, pensaba que era broma, lol. Pensaba que se iba a detener en unos... No, soy un huevón. Era pendejo, no. Bueno, hasta aquí lo dejamos. Voy a guardar. Sí, ya está. Lo guardé, ¿no? Sí. Nos vemos hasta la próxima. Suscríbanse, denle manita arriba, compartan. ¿Qué más? Favorito, compartan otra vez. Manita arriba. Like. Véanlo. Favoritos. Compartan con sus mejores amigos y nos vemos hasta la próxima.